Assalamu alaikum. Today I'll be walking around Tokyo and answering some of your guys' questions. This depends fully on your niyyah. I've seen this go good ways and bad ways. Students have come to Japan. They've become stronger in their faith because they feel that they have to represent Islam. They've gotten more passionate about giving dawah. And I've even seen them go on to get happily married to a Japanese spouse and, help bring their entire families to Islam. But you should be aware that these are the minority by far. The majority are tempted by the secularist nature of Japan. And if they're coming from a majority Muslim country, it's their first time where they're not being observed by anyone. So it's a real test of your iman. And you find out if you've been practicing the deen for the sake of human beings or if you've truly been practicing it for the sake of Allah. The hardest thing about Islam for me personally when I first reverted was feeling like the only sane person in an insane world. I had so many people around me telling me that what I was doing was wrong or incorrect or that I was doing something crazy, that at times I did start to question myself. Like maybe I really was losing my sanity. Maybe I really was going crazy. But alhamdulillah, when it came to quitting the things that I'm supposed to be quitting drinking, this kind of stuff was something that I think I was able to do with comparatively little difficulty compared to others, alhamdulillah. But the struggle was definitely there for just maintaining my sanity. Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you for asking. I'm getting over a bit of a cold, but doing well, alhamdulillah. This year I actually turned 40 years old, so it's making me think about life quite a bit. I still feel very much the same person I was when I was a child, so I'm wondering if I've really grown up as much as I was supposed to. I think at this point in my life, I've realized that most of the men around me are struggling with the same things that I am. And that men are basically people who are weak but don't get to admit it, are lost but don't get to admit it, are struggling but don't get to admit it, and really have no idea what they're doing, but they have to pretend like they do. And so every day I feel a bit like the bird who wakes up with nothing but tawakkul, knowing that when I return in the evening, my stomach will be full. So I go to bed every night thanking God for everything He's given me, even though, to be honest, I have no idea how I got here, or most of the time where I'm going. When I was younger, I did taekwondo, and then I switched over to Muay Thai for a while. But wadaiko, the Japanese percussion, ended up taking over my life. I did end up going professional doing that here in Japan for many long years. And in many ways, wadaiko is a lot like a type of martial art, very intense training. It's a very similar relationship like with a sensei, with your master. And so I find that I share a lot of commonalities between other martial artists, even if they did something like judo or karate or something like that. So in my heart, even now, I still consider myself a martial artist, yes. Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you for the question. Of course, anyone who has the ability to pursue knowledge, please do, and do it from the right people. When it comes to your identity, it can be something that's both very important and something that's also very dangerous. Identity politics is one of the things that's tearing the world and the ummah apart. So while having an identity is important, making sure that that identity is something that brings us together instead of dividing us further is equally as important. And oftentimes the wisdom to know how to do that is something that is not easy to do if you live in a small bubble. So at the same time you pursue knowledge, you have to find ways to break outside of small bubbles, small pockets of people who never leave a small town or city or university or village, and find ways to see what the world is actually like, to understand people from other cultures, other countries, other places in the world, other backgrounds. If you can't see that, it's very difficult to develop a healthy identity and to really understand your true position in the world. And without knowing that, you don't really know what you have to offer or what you have to gain from others. So when it comes to both of these, I would encourage everyone to pursue an identity and knowledge as far as you are able. However, in doing so, if you find yourself using that identity or using that knowledge to cut yourself off more or differentiate yourself more, then you're going about it the wrong way. And more knowledge and a stronger identity should be leading to more unity and not more division. Growing up half, I think I had a very weak sense of my own identity, who I was. I never felt fully American or fully Japanese or fully anything. And it led to a lot of bad decisions I made in my life, trying to prove myself when I was younger. And I was always trying to portray myself as something that I wasn't. But I'm pretty sure that no one was ever really fooled. After I became Muslim, I found the first identity that I ever really felt comfortable with, and that was as ghuraba, as one of the strangers, someone that has given up on the idea that they're ever going to fit in. So alhamdulillah, I'm happy with this identity, more than half Japanese and half American. As for tensions at the workplace, I wouldn't say that being half really does anything special. If anything, in recent years, being half is kind of cool. I think it's a lot different now than it was when I was growing up. Thank you for this question. I'm going to take advantage of it. And yes, I do teach Japanese and Japanese culture and basically try to teach people how to thrive and succeed in Japan. So if you're studying Japanese or you're struggling in Japan, yeah, I'm sure I could help you out with that, inshallah. I'll leave a link in the description. You can check me out on my other channel, thriveinjapan.com. Thank you for your interest in coming to Japan, and I hope your studies are going well. At the same time, I hope you realize that there is no such thing as a perfectly Muslim job in Japan, because Japan is not a Muslim-friendly environment at large. Make sure that you have the correct intentions when you're coming to Japan. If deepening your faith and doing da'wah are not at the top of your list, it will be very easy to get lost by coming to this society and losing your faith altogether. Now, if you have the correct intentions, then the best way would be just to reach out to brothers who are already working here and see where they work and see how they're doing it. My family originally comes from Kyushu, which is the southernmost of the main islands of Japan, and from the most southern town, a small town called Makurazaki. There's some rumors of my great-great-grandmother being a master with naginata, which is the Japanese spear, but I doubt that means we were samurai. We were probably just farmers. Wa alaikum assalam. As you can see in this video, there's a beautiful masjid built in the Ottoman style. It's a Turkish masjid. It would be my dream to build something equally or more beautiful in a traditional Japanese way and create and build the first truly Japanese style masjid. Someday, hopefully this channel can be a big part of that, inshallah.